What's going on, everyone? So today was the NBA draft lottery, and the Atlanta Hawks ended up with the number one pick. It's like the first time in like 70 years for Atlanta that they've gotten the number one pick. But for those that don't know, the Lakers have the 17th pick in this year's draft. I know some people do, some people don't, but there you go. They have the 17th pick. They are expected full force trade everything, upgrade this roster. Lakers are very limited on what they can do this offseason as far as free agents go. This free agency class isn't great. Right? There's not a bunch of like top tier free agents. And even if there were, the Lakers don't have the money to sign anybody. They're essentially just vet minimums and maybe at best the mid-level exception. More likely it's going to be the taxpayer mid-level. So any kind of upgrades and changes to this roster, like significant changes, are going to come via trade. Lakers are expected to be active and aggressive, were the phrases used to describe what the Lakers are going to do with that 17th pick. We'll see how it plays out. I'm totally fine with the Lakers trading the pick as long as they get something of value. But the reason this draft lottery, again, just the lottery, the reason this draft lottery was impactful for the Lakers is because Atlanta just got the number one pick. So there are two ways you could look at this for Atlanta. Either A, they look at it as like, this is our clear-cut sign to hit the rebuild button, right? To hit the reset button, just blow it up, build around the new guy, right? Let's say that they draft Alexander Sarr, right? The 7'1" Frenchman who's supposed to be the next great center in this league, right? Like, let's say they draft him, and it's like, okay, well, we can now rebuild around him. Let's trade Trae, let's trade Dejounte, let's just get rid of everybody and anybody, and now let's take this pick and let's go hit the reset button. The other side of the coin would be that they look at this as like, no, this, like, we don't need to hit a reset button. This is just a huge opportunity, huge piece that now we can take and draft somebody alongside Trae, which we could do. So this could potentially save the Lakers from themselves, depending on how Atlanta approaches this offseason. Because, look, if Trae Young is available and the Lakers can actually acquire Trae Young, they're going to go and trade for Trae. I've talked about how much I don't like it. I know many of you have talked about you don't like it. It doesn't matter what we think, right? The Lakers, if they can get Trae, who's 25 years old and one of the best playmaking guards in the league, and just they're going to go get him. It's just what it is, right? It's just what the Lakers do. Right? If they can get him with the assets they have, they're going to get him because they look at him as a building block beyond LeBron James. So if Atlanta looks at, again, just using Alexander Sarr as an example, say they go, hey, man, Trae's only 25. We go get Sarr, who's 19. Right, so we get these two. Now we have them as our building blocks. Let's trade Dejounte Murray. Let's trade Clint Capella. Let's trade all these guys. That, I think, it could benefit the Lakers. Because if you go get Trae, that's essentially it. Right? You basically are packaging all your picks, as much salary as you possibly can, shipped out, get that. But Dejounte Murray, right? Like, give up Reeves. Give me Reeves, a first, and whatever, right? Because especially if they're going to use the number one pick and then Trae Young, right? They wanted Austin Reeves. Like, they didn't care. So, I mean, obviously, they're not going to be like, oh, just swap Reeves for Dejounte. But their prize was Reeves. So if you can go get Reeves, or if you could go and trade Reeves and a first and not have to give up 2-3 firsts and just go Reeves and a first. Plus, I mean, you'd have to throw in like a Jalen Trufino or something like that, or, throw in another piece to match salaries. But point is, like, essentially take Austin Reeves, flip him with another first into Dejounte Murray, right? Maybe even work something out to where you get Clint Capella, right? Because after this year, he's an expiring, so you could always look to move him at the trade deadline, stuff like that. But point is, like, you get a center, you get an actual point of attack, playmaking, athletic guard, right? Like, I would rather go get Dejounte and Clint Capella on the cheap because it's like, hey man, you're drafting a center. You're either drafting Donovan from UConn or you're drafting Alexander from France, or the French guy, right? Like you're getting one of those two, so you need to get rid of your center. So we'll take Clint Capella. We'll take Dejounte Murray. It's going to cost you something for Clint Capella because he's not on a great contract, but the Lakers could use him. Maybe the Lakers, like Atlanta now becomes a prime destination for the Lakers because, again, they got to move off of Trae Young and Dejounte, right? Now, the plan sounded, based on reports, like they were okay with moving off of Trae. That it was like, okay, like let's just move off Trae, build around Dejounte. They wanted to kind of retool around Dejounte. Well, now they got the number 1 pick. That's got to change things because they're not going to trade the number 1 pick. They're going to use it and draft it because they're not a good basketball team. You know, if they were a team like, you know, Minnesota and it's like, oh man, we got the number 1 pick. You know, we might be in the conference finals this year. Like maybe we should look to move that, try to go get that final piece to win a championship. Something like that I could see. But team like Atlanta, no, they're going to do everything they can to keep that pick and draft their next cornerstone, right? So again, it's probably an Alexander Sarr or, you know, Donovan Clingan from UConn, something like that. And then they'll probably at that point, you got to imagine, like, just again, Trae's only 25. DeJounte's, I mean, he's still only, 27? But still, I mean, that 2 years is a big difference, right? 2 years, 3 years from now, when Atlanta maybe is like a contender because they get that guy, they build that piece, they put it together. One guy's 30, one guy's still only 28. No, it's a difference, right? Especially if you're trying to build a regular, perennial contender. But this may, again, this is just speculation, but this may have saved Atlanta or saved the Lakers from themselves because, again, Atlanta might look at this as like, man, we just got that piece, right? Now let's look to move off of Dejounte. Let's trade Dejounte Murray. And then now they might actually look to, hey, let's unload Dejounte and whatever and everything else. Because, again, if you're going to get a center, you're probably in your best interest to get rid of Clint Capella. And then let's just build around Trae Young and Alexander Sarr. Like, that's probably the best course of action for them. That probably makes the most sense at this point. Because, again, like, it's either that or you just tear the whole thing down. Right? Again, trade Trae Young, trade Dejounte Murray, trade Clint Capella, trade everybody. Right? Just unload everybody. You got the number 1 pick. Stack up assets. Go get that franchise guy now, and then just build and tool around them. Like, that is probably the only other option. So it just depends on how is Atlanta looking at this? What is Atlanta's thoughts in that regard? Are they looking at this as an opportunity, like this is a signal and a sign to just tear it down to the studs? Or are they looking at this as like, oh, this is a sign to keep Trae, and now we got our foundation piece. Now we got our building blocks. Hey, Trae, just give us 2-3 years, and we can now build an actual contender. It wasn't that long ago we were just in the conference finals, right? We'll move off of Dejounte. You're the guy. You got your co-star that we're about to draft, right? So now you got your center that you can make look great, and he's coming in the league and probably going to drop 20 because all he's got to do is just catch lobs all game, right? So you get that. So we got your big man, got you, you got a couple nice young guys on the roster that you keep, but everyone else, I think you just tear it all down. But again, it's going to be interesting to see because obviously the Lakers are going to be incredibly active. There's going to be a lot of options just on the trade front, and just. Again, free agency, not so much, but there are a couple nice little flyer guys, like Kevin Porter Jr. Can you maybe get him in? Valanciunas, can you kind of convince him maybe to take like taxpayer mid-level? Because that would be huge. That'd be massive. Or again, go make that trade again. I would like if you told me tomorrow the Lakers traded for Dejounte Murray and Clint Capella, like. I'd be totally okay. I mean, it would cost you as much. It'd cost you less assets, but it'd cost you as much salary-wise as it would for just Trae Young. At least you got a center. It's on an expiring deal that you could look to flip and move. And you got, Dejounte Murray, who now can be your third guy and be a piece to help carry you going forward, even post LeBron. And then you still have 2 firsts and, D'Angelo Russell or whatever that maybe you could flip into something, or Gabe Vincent. And it's just like you still have other things that you could take to now go and get another piece or two, right? Orlando wants D'Lo, right? Well, you got 2 firsts now, right? Maybe you could work something out to where you could get, you land, Wendell Carter and Suggs for D'Lo in a first or something. I don't know. Again, just kind of things popping in my mind. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you hope that this kind of saves the Lakers from themselves and Atlanta decides to keep Trae Young because of this? Do you think no? No, this just gives them more of an incentive to go and trade Trae, which then the Lakers are going to go and draft or trade for him. Because again, if the Lakers can realistically land him, they're going to realistically land. They can land Trae Young. They're going to go get Trae Young. But we'll see. Time will tell. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. If you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.